Hi guys, welcome back to Lost in My Library. My name's Kate. Today I am doing a video talking about the 10 books. If I could only keep 10 books in my library, what 10 books would I choose? Specifically of the books that I own. Some of them are of sentimental value, some of them are my favorite books of all time. There's one author who shows up quite a bit on this list. Don't be surprised. If you know me, you already know who it is. That person shows up a grand total of 4 times on this list. 4 times out of 10 I would keep this author. So my library is kind of a mess. So I have written down 5 that I know I own. And it's just a mess right now. So we'll go over them first. The first one I would choose is the first Mistborn book, The Final Empire. This book, I did read Elantris first, but Mistborn was what really got me into the world of adult fantasy in a sense, and adult fantasy trilogies. Elantris itself is good, but it's a solo, it's a solo book. You can read it by itself. It's not a part of series, standalone. That's the word I was looking for. Whereas Mistborn is the first in the Mistborn: The Final Empire is the first book in a trilogy of books, and this is my first fully adult novel series that I've gotten into. Whereas you can argue that like A Darker Shade of Magic is more new adult than adult. When you think adult in the sense of high fantasy, which also A Darker Shade of Magic is also high fantasy. I hold Mistborn, the first book, very near and dear to my heart. The characters, I love the first book. The second book, not as much as I love the first one, but it's still a good book. But, yeah, that was okay. So, moving on, I am going to say my copy of Carrie by Stephen King. When I read Carrie for the first time, I did it with a buddy, and we, annotated, all of the page, we did sticky notes, and we annotated the entirety of our books, and then we sent each other our copies that we had annotated, and so I have the copy that she annotated for me. I would like to hold on to that. That's a precious thing. I wish I could do it more with more people, and I just want to hold on to that book because it's a neat idea. It was a cute buddy read kind of way. I enjoyed it, so I had a lot of fun. So that's what I want to hold on to as well. The next one is the first of 4 appearances on this list. That is The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan. Now, this book destroyed me. I want to hold on to it because this is where Percy and Annabeth officially made it. Made their relationship a thing. Became a thing. This was also one of the first books that utterly destroyed me with its ending. I just want to hold on to it. I don't think Rick Riordan has really taught the first, his first finality, even though Blood of Olympus did have a kind of devastating death in it, and there was a devastating death in the Trials of Apollo series, but it wasn't in the finale. I don't think Rick Riordan has really taught his finale in The Last Olympian, so I like it. The next one is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. This is my all-time favorite classic mystery, possibly my all-time favorite classic of all time. This is about 10 strangers who end up on an island, and one by one, they all die. Or maybe one by one, they die. So, and then my best friend wanted me to read this. And one of my best friends, and I loved it. It's so good. I loved the idea of the poem and the deaths following the poem. I thought that was clever, and you never really knew what was going to happen with the deaths because it could say, like, he was hugged by a bear, and then it was not necessarily an actual bear, it was a bear statue that fell on top of them. So, interesting deaths like that. And then the last of the ones, I'm not sure where they are, is the Chronicles of Narnia, and this is my massive book that has all 7 novels in it. This is probably the oldest book that I've had in my collection, and I've had it for so long. I've had it since right around the time that because it has the Prince Caspian movie cover on it, so I've had it since Prince Caspian came out, and I'm not sure when. Hey Google, when did Prince Caspian the movie come out?
In the United States of America,
2008.
Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian came out on May 16th, 2008.
So, I think I got it for Christmas, too. So, I got it back in, like, 2007. December of 2007, and I've had it for that long in my own personal collection. And I got it from a family member, so I want to also hold on to that. So, where do we start with the books that I now own, that are sitting here next to me? I guess we'll start with this one, Ahsoka by E.K. Johnston. This is about my all-time favorite Star Wars character, Ahsoka. And I think I want to hold on to this just because this is Ahsoka, and I love Ahsoka, and I just need everything that is about Ahsoka. I just need everything. This built up a lot of gaps in Ahsoka's story that we had not had. This that takes place between Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. She has not joined the Rebel Alliance just yet in Star Wars Rebels, and we find out how she gets the white lightsabers, which are now her staple. I love Ahsoka so much, and I don't think I could bear getting rid of something with Ahsoka as the main character, literally called Ahsoka. So I don't think I could get rid of this. Okay. Next book. What should I grab? We'll grab this. Okay, this is one of my newer recording books in my collection, and that is The Lightning Thief. This is the illustrated edition. This is not a graphic novel, as you can see. This actually has words, but it is illustrated. It does have beautiful pictures on here. See if I can. Well, okay, there's a Minotaur. I was looking for Percy and Annabelle. It might be Grover too, probably. Oh, there's a gorgeous picture of Camp Half-Blood. Gorgeous. Oh my goodness. What? Oh, look at that. Look at that. I would love to reread this one day using this novel. Oh, just like so cool. Oh my goodness. Just there's Percy and Annabelle. I was looking for her. I really sincerely hope they do this again and continue on with these illustrated editions. And on top of that, it is also signed. So I would very much like to hold on to this. Alright, what's the next one? Do we want to talk about? Okay, we'll talk about this one. This was my favorite Rick Riordan book for the longest time. It has fallen to second place. And that is The Titan's Curse. This is the third book in the Percy Jackson series. This is still my favorite book in the Percy Jackson series, but it has fallen in my favorite Rick Riordan. If you know, you know. And we'll get there in just a second. This was the first copy I owned, so it is very much, very loved. I can't bear to even think about getting rid of this. My favorite, one of my all-time favorite series, my second favorite book ever written by Rick Riordan, my all-time favorite author, was my favorite book for a really, really long time. I can't get rid of this. I can't imagine departing from this. But this follows Percy, of course. Annabeth is kidnapped, and it is a damsel in distress story. This is really where we're seeing Luke turn into Cronus. This is where Cronus really starts appearing more as the villain of the story versus Luke, and seeing more of Luke's humanity shining through. I like this book a lot. I do. Okay. Getting off of Rick Riordan for a second. A book that I've been utterly obsessed with since I read it last year. And I am currently reading its sequel. That is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is about 6 crows. Not really 6 crows. 6 crows being that is the name of the group. And they're called crows. So, this is about a convict with a thirst for revenge. And that is the reason why I cannot. I've been utterly obsessed with Kaz Brekker. The last year, Kaz Brekker has won my heart. I never thought that I could love someone more than I loved Nikolai in the Shadow and Bone, in the Grishaverse. I didn't think I was going to love anybody more, but Kaz Brekker came in, as he always does, as a thief and stole my heart. A sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager. Jasper, my person I would say what I would want as my best friend. A runaway with a privileged past. A spy. Okay, that's Nina. Right. No. Hold on. A runaway with a privileged past. Oh no, that's Wyland. Okay, that's Wyland. These are in a weird order. A spy known as the Wraith, that is Inej. A heartrender using her magic to survive the slums, that is Nina. And a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes. I'm guessing that's Matthias? Because... I guess. That's a weird description. I might have Wyland and Matthias mixed. But, yeah. I have been obsessed with Six of Crows since I read it. I cannot bear the idea of wanting to depart from this. I have 3 copies of this. This is one of my 3 copies. Do I plan on buying more? Maybe. This is the paperback version. I also have a hardback version of this. And I have the special collector's edition of this as well. So. That one's signed. That one's signed. I have now 4 copies of Leigh Bardugo books that are signed. I may have a slight problem. Alright. Now, there is one book that has not been shown yet. And you know, if you know me, there was no other book. This was the first book that made it on the list. That is House of Hades by Rick Riordan, my all-time favorite book. This is, if I had to describe this book in 5 words, this book is Percy and Annabeth, angsty adventure. That's what it is for the majority of it. I think also, going off of other characters in this book, Hazel really shines through in this book as well, as we learn a lot more about the mist. Nico is also a fairly prominent character in this book as well, and I believe he's the first character that we've ever been introduced to that is of the LGBT community. And this is where he comes out to us, to the readers. I'm trying to think if there was another couple that we had known before Nico coming out in this book, having LGBT representation of this. This book, Percy and Annabeth are by themselves for their entirety of the story. So, yes. Bob the Titan, which I think maybe making a comeback in the Will and Nico story that's coming. I'm so excited. So excited. This book is just so good. And it breaks my heart that I can't tell people to read this as much as I want to, because, this is book 9. This is book 9. So you have to get through 8 other books to get to this. I remember that I was highly anticipating this book, because I read Mark of Athena, and if you know, Mark of Athena ends on a massive cliffhanger. And I was highly anticipating this book. And I had different feelings about this book when I first read it. But now that I've reread it multiple times, and myself has changed quite a bit since I've read for the first time. It just holds a special place in my heart. I remember trying to read through a lot of the non-Percy and Annabeth chapters as fast as I could, so I could get to the Percy and Annabeth chapters. And then I've reread the chapters that are non-Percy and Annabeth after reading the whole book and knowing what happens to Percy and Annabeth by the end in their story. I'm just flabbergasted. I'm I don't remember this. I'm this is so good. I just flew through this. Also, the beginning of this is an apology from Rick himself. This came out in 2013. Wow, 2013. This book is 9 years old. It's gonna be 10 next year. I guess I'll have to reread it next year. I remember highly anticipating this book and liking it but not loving it the first time, and then upon rereads, actually the third book, Mark of Athena, which is also equally a really, really good book. Kind of surprised it didn't make this list, to be honest. Now I'm thinking about it. Mark of Athena was really, really good. Mark of Athena actually was my favorite of the series for quite a bit. And then upon reread, I was like, nah. I think Percy and Annabeth, the ultimate OTP, reigns above all. So, I love House Hades so much. It's so good. It's so good. I would love for you to read it, but know that it is a slight commitment. But granted, the Percy Jackson books are all roughly this size. They're very short. They're short books that you can get through in a couple of days. So that is my 10 books that I would keep in my personal library if I could only keep 10. Now, tell me in the comments if what are your 10 books? Or at least just like one book. One book. What is one book that you would save if you could only keep 10 books in your entire library? I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those YouTube things. See you in my next video. Go be a good cabbage today. Do something kind for someone, even if that is for yourself, because self-care is important. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.